So as March is coming up, we're coming up to the third year of the Nintendo Switch coming out, but we're also coming up to another great thing that came out 3 years ago during the same time as the Switch, and that's going to be Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, 3 years, that's been a long time since we've had even a hint of a new Zelda title or anything like that. We've had speculations and rumors of, Skyward Sword coming to the Switch in HD remastered, or any other ports like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. We've had those rumors here and there, so I decided just to go ahead and make a video just talking about, my top 5 both predictions and what I would like to see in either 2019 or 2020 for Legend of Zelda games. Now, this won't be a brand new title or any ones for that. That'll be a separate video that I'll do later this week. This is just simply games that I would like to see either remastered or ported over to the Switch. So yeah, to get into it first, you guys, then the first game I'm talking about is Twilight Princess. Now, we already got Twilight Princess brought over in the HD version for the Wii U. That was actually one of the first games ported over for a Legend of Zelda game. And I actually just been recently playing that again on my Wii U that I recently just picked up. And I gotta say, you guys, I've been having a blast on it. It is definitely one of my favorite games, both on the Wii U and also on the Wii when it first came out. That was actually my first Wii game playing when I first got my Wii back in the day. And I remember playing that game multiple times from beginning to end, beating it so many times and just spending so many hours on it just trying to complete it. And going through that again definitely made me realize how much I really do love and appreciate this game, especially because it's such a darker Legend of Zelda game. Just the colors and the graphics, the story, everything about it is just so much more darker. It gives you that Majora's Mask feeling, which I really love and appreciate. So for them to be able to port that over from the Wii U to the Switch, I feel like it's possible because it's not really taking that much time. Now, for them to do that, the big thing is how much is it going to cost? Ports for from Wii U to the Switch have an outrageous range from $20 to paying full retail for a game of $60. So I'm kind of hoping if Nintendo decides to go and port over this Twilight Princess to the Switch, I'm kind of hoping they stick between that 30 to 40. That way they're still making money, but we're not having to pay an arm and a leg for another game that we've beaten twice already on the Wii and the Wii U. So if Nintendo decides to go through that, I'm kind of hoping they just go with that 30 to 40 because I would still pay that, they would still make money, and honestly it would just be a smart move for them because a lot of people would still buy it because Twilight Princess is a lot of people's favorite game, or they really do appreciate and love it. Now, to go into number 4, you guys, is another port that is on the Wii U, and that is going to be Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Once again, I've been playing this game a lot on my Wii U. I love it. It reminds me of the same feeling when I got it for my GameCube for my birthday, which was one of my favorite games for the GameCube as well. Legend of Zelda series, every time it's a Legend of Zelda game, it's always in my top 5 at least for that system, just because it's so memorable. It's so much fun. The adventures, the story, everything about it is just so incredible. And for Wind Waker, it doesn't surprise me, you guys, because playing on the Wii U, the HD, the graphics is so much better. It's so much more toned in. I appreciate a lot more of the exploring through the open sea and traveling through all the islands and everything. So for them to do that, I would really appreciate and love the fact that they would do that. I would actually rather have Wind Waker ported over than Twilight Princess, but if I could get both of them, that would be amazing. Now, same thing for pricing. This game would be ported over again, so it would be brought from the GameCube to being able to play on the Wii U to the Switch. It's not going to cost them a lot of money. It's just simply trying to transfer all the data and everything that they designed, maybe add a few twists and turns here and there, and be able to add it. But price range, same thing, $30 to $40. Don't make it a full retail game. If you go ahead and make it a full retail, paying $60, yeah, you're going to still have people paying it. I'll pay $60 to play Wind Waker on the Switch, but I will have that not as much appreciation and love for it because I'm basically paying for another full game, even though I have 2 copies of it now. So if they go ahead and do the 30 to 40, I will definitely buy it in a heartbeat. Now, if they decide to do a special edition for Twilight and Wind Waker and make it 60, I would pay that, but it has to be something memorable that from the games that I would really want it to add it to my collection, especially if it's a collector's edition. Now, number 3 is actually going to surprise you guys for 2 reasons. One, it's 2 games in one, and it's also just something that I don't see a lot of people talking about. And that's going to be Legend of Zelda, Oracle Seasons, and Oracle Ages. Now, I never had the chance of playing Oracle Ages. My brother, when he had Oracle Seasons, he'd let me play it on my Game Boy, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of great times and a lot of great memories with it. It was definitely a challenging game. I could never complete it because I just had so many problems without a guidebook or anything. That was a game that I needed a guidebook for, so for them to be able to do that, they would have to do a lot. They would literally have to basically redesign the entire game, give us Oracle Seasons, and if they're gonna do it, they might as well do Oracle of Ages and make it 2 games in one, because the simple fact these games are so similar. There's not that much of a difference. The bosses, the story, everything, there is differences, but it's really not that much of a difference. So if they went ahead and did that, they would have to basically just redesign the entire game, which is why I said my 2019-2020, because if they decided to do this, they needed to start working on it now, so that way they can have a late 2020, maybe early 2021 release. But at least make it that feeling of, give us that feeling of Wind Waker, being able to have that 3D world, not just the 2D version, anything like that. Give us that feeling of a Wind Waker version, and I would definitely buy that game. Now, if they decide to do both of them, that would be a little bit harder because you're basically paying 2 games for one. I would not be surprised if they make this a $60 game, because the simple fact, it's 2 games in one. They're having to redesign the entire games and just basically come out with new ideas for it, whether it's making a master mode or basically adding a bunch of different styles to the game. But for them to do that, that would be amazing, and that would actually blow a lot of people away, because Oracle Seasons, Oracle Ages, I feel like is an underrated Zelda game. A lot of people will appreciate it, but a lot of people just don't know about it because it's on the Game Boy. So I would really hope if they decide to go that route, I feel like if they went with that, it would make an amazing game, and it would just boost up a lot of their sales, especially if we're waiting for a new Zelda game to come out. It would just blow everyone out of the water. Now, these last 2, you guys, are basically like no-brainers for me. Number 2 is going to be the same thing like number 3. It's going to be 2 games in one. I know I said I would only talk about 5, but basically I'm talking about 7 games. And the reason why I say for number 2 as well, you guys, is because both of these games came out for the same system. They're both amazing games. It's hard to pick which one would have to be better than the other because they both have their own uniqueness, and that's going to be Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Now, the reason why this one it might be possible is because they actually remastered these for the 3DS. We already got these games on the 3DS. I love these games on my 3DS, but I would love to be able to have these on my Switch and be able to play this on the go or play it on the big screen. Now, for them to do that, I feel like they don't really have to change a lot. They already added a bunch of great stuff into the storylines for the games. I feel like all they have to do is just basically take everything, port it over to the Switch, give it a physical form, and that would be perfect. Now, it would be the same thing with Oracle Seasons and Oracle Ages. Put both games in one. Basically, if you beat Ocarina of Time, you unlock Majora's Mask. That's basically how I feel like it would make a great game. Otherwise, just give it split games and go from there. Now, if they decide to give its own cartridge and everything like that, make each game $30 to $40. We already got this for the 64. We already got this in a remastered mode for GameCube. We already got this for the 3DS, If you decide to go single route, just make these games $30 to $40. Don't make these games $60 unless they're a collector's edition and they give us something worthwhile for it. Because honestly, yes, I would still pay $60 for these games, but I don't really want to, because of the simple fact, I already have these games multiple times and there's not a lot to change from the 3DS to the Switch. So if they decided to go and make both these games 2 in 1, yes, I'll pay $60 because it's basically the same thing. But if they decide to just make it single, and it's not a collector's edition, stick to that 30 to 40. You're gonna make money. People are gonna spend their money to get, especially Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Those are the, big titles for the 64. Those are big titles for Legend of Zelda. Ocarina of Time is on a lot of people's top 10 or even their top favorite game in general because it was such a masterpiece for it. So, now coming to number 1, you guys. A lot of people have been asking for this. A lot of people have been just predicting that it's going to happen. I feel like we're going to get an announcement in the next 3 months, and a direct in the next 3 months. You know, it's January. I'm hoping by March they announce this and it comes out this year. And that is going to be Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Now, I do have Skyward Sword. I have it for my Wii. They don't have a HD version on the Wii U, unfortunately. They just have it for the Wii. But, you know, for them to be able to remaster this game and be able to go for it, the Switch is the perfect console for that, because of the simple fact, when Skyward Sword came out, it used a lot of the Wii Motion Plus controller. You needed the controller to be able to wave your sword here and there, be able to use these specific items, and that's a thing that a lot of people have been debating about why we haven't gotten it, because of the simple fact, the mechanics of the game depended on the Wii Motion Plus controller. Now, are we going to have to scrap that and just go back to the regular controller? I don't think we have to. I think we could use the Switch controllers. We already have Switch games that just use the Joy-Cons. You know, there's a lot of games out there that just require you just to use one joystick and be able to move around and go from there. I think they can make us be able to use a sword through that. I don't think they would have a problem with that. It would just have to change up and do a little bit extra work on it. But I feel like that's possible. Now, do a lot of people want that? You know, it depends. A lot of people would just want a straight up regular handheld controller. You don't have to do any motion. You don't have to do anything like that. But for me, the more motion I can do with it, the more I feel interactive with the game. I definitely feel like that would drive a lot more people to want to buy it and try it out. Now, that's a big, you know, chance that they're taking, but I definitely feel like if they make it right, they take their time and make it a great game, it will definitely make them a lot more money. Now, for pricing, unfortunately, I feel like this is going to be a $60 game, no matter what, because the simple fact, you're having to remaster an entire game that's never been remastered yet, which can take a lot of time. You're basically having to go in and tone in all the graphics, be able to update everything, and then the simple fact, you're having to take an entire system to work around one specific game. Now, are we able to do that with the Switch for a lot of other games? Yes, but I feel like that takes Nintendo a lot more time, especially time, money, and just manpower to be able to do that. So to make this a $60 game, I would not be surprised. If it's anything cheaper, I would be happy, but I would be worried at the same time, because of the simple fact, if they make it cheaper, it's like, okay, what is there something missing? Is there something that they just didn't want to put the extra time or money into to make this amazing? And I won't know until I buy the game and be able to try it. But I definitely 100% feel like this game is going to be coming out this year, you guys. We're going to get an announcement. We're going to be told this is coming out this year. That's just my prediction. That is me it's not even a prediction. It's me guaranteeing this game's going to come out this year, because of the simple fact, we haven't got a new Zelda game. We haven't got a new announcement. We haven't got talk about anything about a new Zelda game. We got hints and rumors here, but Skyward Sword Remastered has been the one thing has been on everyone's mind, and possibly has been hinted by Nintendo so many other times as well. And I feel like that's the main focus, is to give us this HD. Now, as for why I'm saying, you know, why port all these games instead of just giving us a brand new title, is because the simple fact, you guys, Breath of the Wild was such a masterpiece. It is by far one of my favorite Switch games. We got DLC for it. We got new stories for it. You know, that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of manpower and perseverance and just wanting to focus on one game. Now, for them to be able to, it's been 3 years since this game came out. But at the same time, it's only been about 2, maybe a year and a half since the last DLC came out. And so, you know, that's not giving them a lot of time to start thinking about a whole new story, new characters. You know, if they want to go with Ganon or Ganondorf for the main villain again, be able to go start from scratch and make a whole new game. It takes time, it takes money. I remember when Breath of the Wild got announced, we still had to wait years before we actually got a trailer and actually got to figure out what this game actually is. So I feel like we're going to have to wait another 2, maybe 3 years for a new Zelda game. If we get anything shorter, it's not going to be a game like Breath of the Wild. Now, that's just an opinion, that's just my prediction, that's just how I see it, but I may be wrong. Maybe they've been working on something since Breath of the Wild first came out, and they saw how sales were for the Switch and everything going for. Maybe they've been working on something. I don't know, but it's just one of those things. I honestly don't feel like we're going to get another Breath of the Wild type of game for at least another 2 to 3 years, just because of the simple fact, it takes a lot of time So that's why I feel like Nintendo needs to focus on porting other games to the Switch. Give us the Zelda titles that we want. Give us the Zelda titles that are going to basically just they're basically going to keep us busy until this new one comes out. Take our minds off it and basically just get us so back in love with the series that we all appreciate and love so much. It's hard for me to talk about this, you guys, just because Zelda is one of my top favorite series video games. I can get very passionate about it. I love the game, and you know, I would love eventually for all the Zelda games to be ported over to the Switch, because I feel like the Switch can do that for us. Now, it's just if Nintendo wants to do that. But those 5, you guys, I would really love to see. Those 5 would just be amazing. It would make me super happy having those 5 types of games. Now, like I said, it's just my opinion. It's just my predictions of what I'm predicting for 2019-2020. Am I predicting all 5 coming out in the next 2 years? Absolutely not. That would just be crazy. That would be super hard. That would just basically take everyone off and just focusing on multiple different games. So I would be happy if we can at least get 2 games, Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask bundle. If we can get those 2, I would be set for the Switch until we got the new Zelda title. But if we could get any of the other ones ported over as well, I'd be happy. Any of those titles, I'd be happy. But if it's a new Zelda game, I'd still be happy no matter what. But yeah, that's basically my prediction, you guys. What do you guys think? Drop a like and drop a comment in here. Tell me what games you guys would like to see for Zelda ported over to the Switch. Tell me, you know, what you would like to see in the new Zelda title as well. Be sure, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a subscription. And if you guys are already subscribed, be sure to drop a like, you guys. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Everyone have a great day.